Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you very much, and let's start the new year. Hey everyone, I hope you're well, playing on making the games that you all love. You're joining me, your host, Principal Mission Designer Max Purrs. Absolute pleasure to be here talking with you all. I hope that you all had a great holiday, a great time with the ones that you loved, set your New Year's resolution and goals, and all just feel great for it. And hopefully got the gifts that you asked for as well. So yeah, it's a new year. Sadly, I didn't get to spend much time recording episodes for the last bit, but there have been some big changes on my side, which I kind of want to discuss with you all here for it. That being the elements of, as many of you know, I have now moved jobs. I'm now a principal mission designer over at Hangar 13. I've currently moved places as well, so getting everything set up. Like, actually, I've already recorded this episode, but because I had forgot to set it to the actual mic that you're hearing this now, it was reset to my webcam mic and it sounded awful. So here we are, attempt two. And during that time, I was also teaching the CGMA course, and I was just trying to make sure, because I think we had like 2 weeks left, trying to make sure that I was able to give them the best reviews and elements that I could to make their course as best possible, knowing where to move forward even after they finish the course. This one's going to be a bit more of a somber note, not the highs and the funs that I would like to start a new year on, but I think it's important to talk about. And that has been all these job losses and redundancies happened some, I'd say, the back end of 2022 and continued on to 2023. I don't know if there's been any more job losses at the start thus far. I hope not. But yeah, I kind of just want to speak with you and talk about it because I lost my main contract and another one due to this. And obviously, right now in this climate, I'm sure some other contractors may have a different opinion. But for me, right now, it's definitely not as many people looking for contract work, shall we say, for it. So yeah, that's one of the big things that I just kind of want to talk about and elements to hopefully help people get through this. I know GameSpot did a really nice conversation talking about it and mentioning the mental health side of it all. So I think that was a nice one to see and to hear about and just kind of share my experience for it and maybe just some tips that hopefully can help others get through this, whether it's just happened to them recently or maybe something that you go through, or I do not wish for you or any of you to experience it, but just something that maybe can help you all if you ever face that of redundancy and layoffs. But first, let's have a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is none other than me. What I've done, everyone, and I hope you're excited for this, is I've actually created a level design kind of store. What I've done in this store is put up different kinds of tips and tricks that you can find there, whether that be my actual ebook itself to that of level design pamphlets focused on different things such as traversal, stealth, breaking into the industry, as well as different talks that I have done which you cannot find anywhere else other than on this store. So if you are looking to improve on your level design skills and processes, then check out the Level Design Store, which will be down in the description below, where there'll be a link to find this. All you need to do is head over to gumroad.com/level design lobby. I hope you like what you see, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you, and now back to the show. So yeah, we'll talk about it being the first side for me, and I think that is kind of number one, getting a support network for it. This can come in different forms. Now, I lost my main contract at roughly the end of October. I think it's like October 28th or something around that kind of a period. And basically, I was fortunate enough where even as a contractor, they were a good enough studio to say, hey, don't worry about coming in for the next month that you still have. We'll still pay you for the full month. Some other people have different redundancy packages. As again, I was a contractor, so it's a little bit different compared to others out there. And for me at the time, I was actually at my father's, just remote working on my laptop. And luckily, being with that of family, I think really helped a lot for it. I really did appreciate having him there and just being able to talk about with that. Now, it can come from that of your family and your loved ones, or your support network can come from that of colleagues as well. There's a few others who will let go, but the LD team was really just me and my director, and I think it was me. No, it was just me from the from that side that was let go, right? So I didn't necessarily have a support network in that case, but for me, I work on became friends with a few of the lads at CA who I think it was a day after I lost mine. It was publicly announced that CA was making cuts, so I saw with them that they were all very much trying to help each other, give each other feedback on portfolios and CVs, talk about jobs they've applied for, other ones they feel would be good for different members of the team. And I think to me that's a really important one to have, to be able to work with that of your fellow disciplined teammates and be able to have that camaraderie for it. I know for me when I first heard the news, it was obviously sadness and compassion for those who'd found out. We went out for some food and drinks with those who I knew. But the other thing for me was I was like, oh God, I now have competition right here, right? That it's very much, oh, I have faces to the competition. But I think it's important to make sure that you don't have that mindset. You know, like I said, there was over 6,000, probably more, that lost their jobs. And although it is in a weird sense of competition because you're applying with so many different people, I do think it's just important to remind yourself though that these people are just trying as much as you, and if you can build a healthy relationship of sharing knowledge, sharing information, I think it can help generally make you all feel better and all help you find the right place to go as well. I think it's really important to have that with it. The second thing that I think I would talk about is obviously the element of updating your portfolio and CV. Now, a friend of mine who's now lead level designer over at Ubisoft, Leamington, Barnaby Zola, really great guy. When I first met him back when I was at Ubisoft Reflections, he told me that during his career that he'd been let go a couple of times. And one of the stories, and I think I've shared it on the podcast before, is that it took him like 6 months to get everything together to then apply again. Now, that is a while for sure, but he was working on personal projects and trying to make sure that the layout and everything looked great, right? You only have one real shot to make a first impression with portfolios. And if you're in a position now where, you know, you've been there for a few years and you don't want to leave, that's great. But I do recommend making sure that your portfolio, your CV is constantly updated, minimum every year, but I'd say every few months, just to be honest, just to make sure that it's not a huge chunk of work. I mean, luckily for me at the time, I think it was a few days after I'd lost the job, Phantom Liberty had been released, which was great because it meant that I could finally share my work on Phantom Liberty publicly, place it on the portfolio, all those great things. So that was a real winner to help me, right? And I think it's one of those things where just making sure that you're constantly taking pictures, again, even if, you know, you're at a place you're not wanting to leave, but taking pictures of the project multiple times throughout each stage, I think is really important for it all. I think it helps you go through and make better portfolio and share the whole process, which is great to have. And yeah, Barnaby was really drilled into my head that although it should hopefully doesn't happen to you, making sure that you've gotten everything correct, everything ready to go with it, I think is always important. Now, that's really something that I just think should be just drilled into everyone's head moving forward, making sure that you do have a portfolio, making sure that there is something to show whenever you need to move or something bad is to happen, right? And that was a big thing. I think personal projects is number 3 for it. Making sure that you have something that is your own, that really shows your whole pipeline, your whole design process, I think is really important for it. If we looked at an interview I had, the company I was speaking to, it was for an open world game, but they were talking about my Spider-Man hideout and how much they liked that, which is great, but also a bit surprising. The element of both Cyberpunk and Division, professional works out there, and have experience with open world. But I think having the Spider-Man one really helped push that even further. So I think, to me, that is something that really is key and crucial for it all, team. So make sure that you are doing personal work. I mean, I have put up my God of War. I don't know why I put that as a question. I know I have put up my God of War shots already, which is still work in progress. But it's there to show people I'm still working on this. There's still stuff going on even in the background, regardless of people are aware of all the work that I'm still contributing to.
At Level Design Lobby, we believe everybody has a story to tell. Hobbyist or student, freelancer or veteran, we made it our mission to unite those who share our passion for creating and developing great games. Thanks to our generous Patreon backers, we've been able to do just that. So if you've already pledged your support, thank you. If not, you too can ensure the future of Level Design Lobby, helping us to create even more exciting content, collaborations, interviews, and much more. With awesome perks and rewards, whether you're a seasoned professional or just getting started, you're sure to find something for you. Want to share tips, tricks, and advice with passionate, like-minded developers? Our awesome community Discord has you covered. Fancy practicing your level design, creating strong portfolio content, and having fun? Then try our level design weekends. Or perhaps you want to individually discuss your work, hone your skills, or level up your career? Then consider our one-on-one mentorships. If you share our vision, then go to patreon.com/Level Design Lobby for more information and to pledge your support. Thank you.
So having those elements, I think, is really important for it. I'll obviously update that and move that along once I have finished the layout. We're just finishing the final blockout section, so there's still stuff to script, both logic-wise and actually for the narrative too, but we're on our way, which I'm very happy about. But that's another one. Make sure that you have personal work to share. I think it always helps for people to still get a better sense of how you design personally, what is actually your pipeline. Obviously, when we work on games like these, there are hundreds, if not sometimes 1,000 of people working on it. I mean, God, look at the budget costs that have come out, sadly, for Insomniac through leaks, which isn't right, and also through Sony and Microsoft trial when buying Activision. I think, what was it, Last of Us cost $200 million, and I think Spider-Man 2 was like 300 something million to make. And I think it's a really important one for the next one, is to learn the different aspects of the industry. And when I say that, I don't mean necessarily learning other bits of discipline. If you can, do it. I mean, I will be working back on Blender once I've finished more of my stuff with God of War. I want to learn a bit more on that. But I mean that in the sense of the business. One of the things that caught me off guard was obviously losing the job, but there were friends who could see it coming and co-workers who could see that the place was going to make that of redundancies. But for me, because of the fact that I was very isolated with working in bigger studios, you're kind of kept away from certain elements. But it now allows me to understand more of how different business decisions are made, keep my eyes open for different things. So it's a good thing to learn moving forward, team. So make sure that you are seeing it as also a learning exercise. I think number 5 for me would be, make sure you're applying as soon as you hear. I know it's going to be tough and I know it's hard. One of the best things for me was, after speaking to my dad, which was like 10 minutes or something after I lost the job, he was just like, go apply. And that's what I did the first day. I think I applied 4 companies, second day 3 companies, onwards and onwards. But it was that element which is really important for it, which I really just want to stress to everyone, that I think it's a really crucial that you build that momentum for yourselves, team. I think that's really important. I think the fifth one is obviously networking. Now, I talked about hanging out with the guys from CA. One of the things that we did is we went to one of the Eurogamer events at the time, which was a really good idea. It wasn't a huge opportunity for networking, but it did still allow us to meet some incredible people still, which I really appreciated and really loved. And even though some of those didn't lead to anything for me personally, they did for some of the other guys, which is great. And I think that's always the important thing. Even now, like I've realized, okay, I should be going to more of these networking things. Now, I did a bit last year anyway by going to different conferences, but it's something that I still preach to this day. Make sure that you go network as much as you can, right? Because you never know. For me, luckily for Hanger, it was my friend who recommended me, who I used to work with back at Ubisoft Reflections. So that really helped me get through the door and to see me as someone who should be taken a bit more serious as well. So build these connections, keep them. I think it's such a crucial point for all of us. You never know who's got positions open, who's not during those times. So build those bonds, my friends. And then finally, post. We talk about it all the time. Obviously, going off to events is great, but things you can do now is by still presenting stuff with online on Twitter, sharing through YouTube, blog posts, TikTok. There's more. I'm an old man, so there's probably even more that I'm just not aware of. But these things will help for it. So I really hope, I know some of these are very obvious, but I think I just wanted to share the ones that helped me. Talk about luckily having people, even though I was a contractor, I didn't have a team around me, but being close to those who were at CA at the time really helped me through that too. So yeah, thank you all very much. I really hope that this does help you. And I hope that none of you go through it. And if you are going through and listening, I wish you nothing but the best, sending the best that I can through to you all, because that's what I want. I want everyone to succeed and really have a great time in this. And so we'll wrap it on up, team. If you do want to support the podcast, please head over to Patreon. We only have one tier now, so it's just as simple as, I think it's just $1, just to help us get through, help me pay my incredible editor who helps through this all the time. He is a true badass. And for myself, if you have any questions or thoughts, please email me, leveldesignlobby@gmail.com. Follow me over on X/Twitter, which is @MaxPairs. And just, if you want to learn more, I have 2 books out, which are called Let's Design Combat and Let's Design Exploration. I'll put them in the link below. Thank you all, take care, and I'll catch you all next time.